What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very exciting because it is the official video for my TBR for the 2025 Celtophile Readathon. It's starting today, y'all. I have 7 books for the 7 prompts, and then I also have an additional 2 books that I'll get to at the very end. But let's start with the first prompt. It is read a book with a green, orange, white, or all 3 colors. And I'm going with Sociopath, a memoir. It's half white, okay? It's the best I could do. And this is actually for the Messed Up Book Club. I'm getting back into the Messed Up Book Club with Patrick and Brian and Sori and whoever else wants to join for March. I'm not 100% sure. This is a very fascinating memoir. Patrick is as the title says, sociopath, but she's also a therapist. Or was it psychologist? She's in the field of psychology, has a doctorate and all of that. So, okay, I'm intrigued. For anyone wondering, you don't have to read Celtic books. You can do, for a couple at least of these prompts, you can read not Celtic stuff. So I did that for the first prompt because I just needed to find something for it because everything else is accounted for. The second prompt, one of my favorites, is read a book written by Morgan Llewellyn, and I'm going with the Etruscans by Morgan Llewellyn and Michael Scott. Sorry, Michael. It's a very basic name that has 2 first names. I get really confused with those types of names. So this also is not Celtic themed. However, Morgan Llewellyn is an Irish American author. She has at least 30 books out, if not more. She was extremely popular in the late 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, but the trend that lasted for a long time, I'll give it that, of Celtic, specifically Irish novels waned after the Troubles ended. And so she was an international bestseller for over a decade, but then it was kind of taken over by Outlander. And so everyone is now obsessed with Scotland and Scottish romances, and even now Norse mythology has taken over the historical fantasy, historical fiction vibe, also World War I and World War II. I rather read about Scotland and the Vikings, not World War I and World War II, but I'm digressing. So Morgan Llewellyn has kind of sort of been forgotten, so I wanted to have a prompt just for her to bring awareness to people that she is still alive. She's living in Dublin. She's in her early 90s, and she writes amazing books. I found her through my grandmother, so shout out to Morgan Llewellyn and Michael Scott, but namely Morgan Llewellyn. Okay, the third prompt, read a book written by a native-born Celtic author, and I'm going with this chunky monkey. Oh my. Oh yeah, this is over 750 pages. It's The Story of the Irish Race, A Popular History of Ireland by Seamus McManus. This, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is going to be started first. I'm not going to dedicate my whole time reading just this book because I know I'm not gonna finish it in just March. This is something of like a 3-month to 5-month situation. Also depends how good it is. If it's not, that's so bad to say, but if it's not good, I'm DNFing and I'm gonna donate it to the little library because over 750 pages. But I'm being a little negative. I really hope that it's good because I want to know all the things. And I realized I could have totally put this for the first prompt, but I was looking at my stack. When I do prompts, whether it be for a readathon or book tag that I created, I create the prompts and then I try and match up the books, not the other way around. So I'm doing my best. Number 4, read a fiction or nonfiction book about Ireland, and I'm going with the Toyin. Oh, oh, you say, no, that doesn't look correct, or that doesn't sound correct. It looks like the Tain. Irish is fucking hard, okay? And it doesn't make sense. So that's what I thought. I thought it was the Tain. No, it's not. I go into the front because there's a whole pronunciation guide and how to say these words. Yes, it's pronounced, or like when you write it out, it's in these guides, it's Toyn. Why am I not, I just found it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. And the introduction for this, it's Old Irish is governed by complex rules, and the following is intended only as an approximate and very simplified guide. Y'all don't even know what it should have been. So you know what? I'm doing the best. I will probably mess up all of the words in this book, but that's okay. Now, what is this story about? It is the Ulster cycle. Y'all know about it. Queen Maeve, the legendary brown bull. We've got Ulsterman stricken by a curse in Cuchulainn. Ooh, yes. And then, you know, lots of violence, lots of sex, you know. Yay, Irish myths, legends, and fairy tales. Well, this is a huge myth. It's the Ulster cycle. So it's very popular, and I just really want to read the original story. And I say it like this because it's very, very old, and it's been translated many, many times, and it's not in the original Old Irish because no one can read that, or only a few people can. So it's a little different than what it was, but we accept that. I'm just really excited to finally get to it because I bought that book over a year ago. Number 5, read a Celtic fantasy novel, and I'm going with Queen of Oak by Melanie Carsack. It's about Boudica, and at first I was like, oh, isn't this just a historical fiction? Yes, well, no, actually, it's historical fantasy. I have read in the reviews that there is magic involved, so I hope that is correct. If not, oh well, I got nothing else. Number 6, read a fiction or nonfiction book about Celtic myths, legends, or tales. And I'm going with the very simple Early Irish Myths and Sagas by, I don't know, Penguin Classics. Yes, this is another one where it's really old. There's been a lot of translations. There's different versions. Here we go. Which version are you going to get? Because the Irish, and really just the Celts in general, did not write things down. Their history and myths and genealogy and just all the things were orally spoken by bards and druids. So once again, we are probably getting something accurate to what it originally was. And yes, that's unfortunate, but at least we have something. You also have to keep in mind that it was written down in different languages by Catholic monks in the Dark Ages, so it is a little bit Christian down, you know? But at least we got something. Number 7, read a Celtic historical fiction novel. We got Pride of Lions by Morgan Llewellyn. Look, I've had this on my shelf for a long time. This is the second book. The first book is Lions of Ireland, and that's about Brian Boru. And then this is Pride of Lions, and this is about one of his sons trying to take over and help Ireland flourish. Not necessarily successful, unfortunately. Brian was one of the very rare people, not just kings, but people that gathered all or almost all of the tribes in Ireland and was pretty successful in bringing them all together under the idea of we're all Irish, or, you know, we're all Celtic, so let's stand against our enemies. But that fell after Brian was assassinated. So I'm really interested in Pride of Lions. I'm not 100% on top of the aftermath of Brian's assassination and funeral. So this is kind of me going in without knowing all that much about the history. So the bonus books, we've got 2 of them. Boys in the Valley by Philip Fricassi. Sorry if I pronounced that last name wrong. I'm just not good at English or any language in general. But this is for the Messed Up Book Club. I'm finally, as I said, back into the Messed Up Book Club. I took a break in February because I moved and I needed to unpack and clean and all that stuff. But this is going to be probably at the end of March, or like middle of March. And then the other book, the amazing, fantastical Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. It is the 3rd and final book in the Emily Wilde series. I am obsessed. You know what? I might read this before the other books, notwithstanding the Seamus McManus book, because I'm starting that probably right now. I had this pre-ordered for over 6 months, and then it arrived at my UPS box and it was sitting there for at least a week because I was moving and I was like, I'm not gonna pick up the book because it's a mess in this house and I don't want to lose it. So I held off. It was safe in the little UPS box, but I have it now and I am obsessed. And also, this is relevant. I just couldn't stick it in any of the Celtic prompts, but this is highly based on Celtic ideas, myths, legend, fairy tale, folk tale, so on and so forth, of Celtic fae. So I'm not actually completely off the mark reading this book in March. Thank you so much for watching my TBR for the Celtophile Readathon. If you're interested in joining, you have time. This is a chill readathon. There are no requirements. You could read 1 book and still be part of the readathon. I'm not annoying in the fact that you need to do this, this, and that, or else you don't count. No, you count even with 1 book. All of that information, especially the prompts, even though I just read the prompts, if you want to see it written down or in a video just about the prompts and the guidelines, then that information is linked in the description box below. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!